must be pretty good for you to, I suppose, get a bit more into the players in terms of what you want from them and getting to know them and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, really good. Good to build on some of the principles we obviously were able to touch on in the first few weeks. So real good to get that solid base. That it's slightly different how we train to what they're used to, so it takes a period of time to adapt to actually having an element of consistency that a program allows us to improve that adaptation. So guys have worked really hard. Been really pleased with how they've been. It was difficult. Obviously, it was extremely hot a couple of days. So been a really good week. I feel the guys are in a really good spot at the minute.
Yeah, it certainly feels like there's a buzz about MK Dons again, and I suppose your streak since coming in, 5 unbeaten now, can only point in the right direction.
Yeah, and really important to stress that everybody plays their part in that. I think it's not just the guys that start on a weekend. It's the subs, it's the guys not in the squad, it's the staff that are on the bench, it's the staff behind the scenes, it's everybody at the club ultimately that contributes to that performance. I think we can only be as good as the culture we create, and it's the one thing that's really hit me since being here is there's so many good people at the club that genuinely want everybody to do well. So I think we've hopefully people around the place feel we've come in and built on that and want to progress it and want to add to it. So I think there's a good feel about the place. I know it's not always going to be as smooth as what we've had in the in the last month. I know we'll have some challenging moments, we'll have some low moments, but I think what we have got is a group of good people that will stick together through them times. So hopefully we can continue the streak we're on with the performances that we've been putting out. Hopefully we can build and get another 3 points tomorrow. But I think we're real clear that it's not always high.
How about yourself personally? It's obviously a big move, moving your entire family back to a different country. How have you found it in the last few weeks? Because I suppose you've barely had time to sit down yet.
Yeah, it's been really full on. Sleep's not great at the moment, to be totally honest. But again, I think that's part of it. I think that's why when you spoke with Louis, I think he found it tough that week as well. So I got to say I loved it. I've enjoyed every minute. I've enjoyed the games. I have to say the fans have been fantastic in all the games that we've had. The group we've got are just a joy to work with every day. And I know I've said that quite a few times, and people are probably tired of hearing me say it, but they genuinely are. They're literally. We finished training an hour and a half ago, and they're still in the changing room playing two-touch with a ball. They just literally love football and can't get enough of it. So that as a group of staff, only helps you in terms of actually we can coach them, we can make them better, we can improve on the things that collectively and individually that we need to do to ultimately move towards where we want to go.
You obviously gave a debut to Peter Kioso at the weekend. How's he settled in? And I suppose a week of training with him as well is only going to help him, establish himself into the fold and like you said earlier, get all the information for what you want from him on board.
Yeah, terrific character. I was pleased with him last week. I thought he did well last week. It's not easy to come in and have a day or two of training, and then jumping straight into a game. So I thought he had a solid game last week. And then again, training this week, getting to know the lads, getting up to speed with things. I think what's important with Peter is that he's going to contribute a lot over the course of the coming months. So I've been really pleased with the initial things we've seen from him, and he's going to go from strength to strength when he develops them relationships and gets up to speed with the guys and how we play.
It feels like every week we end up talking about a new landmark for Dean Lewington. 700 league games for MK Dons should he play tomorrow. The numbers don't seem to click anymore. 700 games in the league for one club, it's just not something you see these days, is it?
No, you don't see it, and credit to him. What an outstanding professional in terms of, like you say, making 700 appearances, is an achievement in itself. So yeah, let alone to do that obviously for one club is amazing. So I can't speak highly enough of Dean since I've been here. Terrific captain, terrific leader. Still performing to a really high level. I think we have to be clear of that as well. He's in the team on merit as well, not just because of his history. I think that's really important to stress. He's since he came on against Charlton, he, like I say, he's performed to a high level. He's been consistent. You know what you're getting from him. He knows his strengths. He knows his weaknesses. And I think that's what you get when you play that volume of games, is that maturity, that experience. And I think that's really important for the group. We are a young group, and frustration and disappointment afterwards in the changing room at Cheltenham last week. And to be fair to Skip, he jumps in straight away and look, it's not a bad thing to feel like that. But at the same point, picking up a point away from home on a tight pitch, with an away fans there, etc. It's not easy. So nothing but positive things to say about Skip.
Just touching on that disappointment from last week, though, that shows, must give you a lot of heart as well to know that coming away from an away game with a point is disappointing for your players.
Yeah, and I think we've had that feeling from a couple of the games this season, to be honest, where you go and we could have arguably got more. I think there's a real fine line. I think there's a real fine line, like I said, of the balance of making sure that we don't become so negative and clouded by negative thoughts and negative reflections on the game, and step back and ultimately see the bigger picture of the journey we're going to go on as a team. I think when you look at it, new staff, quite a few new players, changes in how we want to play to a certain extent. I think as a group we have to go through certain experiences, to get to a position where we're able to get to a level where we can turn them draws and them experiences into 3 points and wins. And I think that would be one that we felt last week in terms of the disappointment. A game that we dominated, probably 15 minutes to the end is a game that we dominated, like I say, for 75 minutes, where we created enough chances, had enough control to win the game. But I think as a team and as a group we have to have some of them experiences that will set us up for the long term. So when we're in that position again, we can actually reflect back and consciously, subconsciously withdraw draw on them experiences that we've had before.
You've got Troy Parrott coming back from international duty this week. Having spent time away, must be good to have him back and bolster your numbers.
Yeah, definitely. He was in a good place before he went away, and I've said it in previous interviews. It's an extremely proud moment to go and represent your country. So, even just being around some of the professionals and some of the players in that Ireland squad that have had the careers they've had, is again more great learning for him that will ultimately benefit us when he comes back. So he came back yesterday, he trained today. He's in a good spot. He's in a good place. He's upbeat. He's obviously taken a lot of the positives from the experience of going away, and you can see he's desperate to get going and desperate to get playing again.
And in terms of your other forwards, how are Max Waters and Mo Icer getting on?
Yeah, Max is. We built Max up this week, so Max is. He's been back in training, and we've increased that as the week's gone by. So he's looked sharp. He's shown some really good moments in training. So I've been really pleased, to have him back. I think he gives us a different dimension to the other attacking players we've got. So been really pleased to have him back. It's not easy, especially when the head coach changes and you have a new one come in. I'm sure, like a lot of the players, he's keen to be out there, keen to impress, and I think what it's been able to do is get him back on the grass, give him that opportunity and build him up. So he's in a good spot. He's progressed really well this week. Been really pleased with him. So again, credit to the medical staff for the work they've done with him to get him in that position where he's been on track. And then Mo. Mo's still with the medical guys. He's not training at the moment. He's still not ready to to be back. And I think with the season we've got ahead and the volume of games and the demands, I think it's important someone like Mo that we don't rush him and end up losing him for more games than what would ultimately, if we shorten it up and make sure we look after him now in the long term, we benefit from that. So we'll look after him. We'll make sure he gets the treatment and we'll reintroduce him at the right time.
Portsmouth then, a team that's had a similar sort of start to your guys, really, just a point up the way. What are you expecting from them tomorrow?
Yeah, another difficult game every week. We credit to them that they're well organised, well structured, clear idea on how they're trying to play, extremely physical. Some big guys in their team, which something else. When you talk about set pieces, etc., is something that we have to make sure that we deal with. So another difficult game, one we have to take all the positives from the last sort of 5-6 games we've had and continue to building on that. I think that's the biggest thing. We obviously do opposition analysis, we look into them, but I think the biggest thing for me at the minute is making the tweaks, the adjustments on us as a team and how we turn them control and that dominance into points. So it's a game I'm really looking forward to. Can't wait to get going. So I feel we're in a good spot going into it. So hopefully we can turn up, perform well, and win.
And their manager Danny Cowley, he's asked for as many Portsmouth supporters as he can to get to the game, because he knows that based on the games last season, Portsmouth can expect not to have an awful lot of the ball. I mean, that requires an awful lot of patience, doesn't it, from fans to know that your team isn't going to have the majority of the ball for the game.
Yes. There's not a right way of winning football matches, and I think I'm really clear on that. And I think for me, speak to the group about it. It's really important that we're clear how we want to play, but we're also unpredictable and adaptable. And I think that hopefully the fans have felt it. Talk about. I thought they were terrific away at Cheltenham last week in terms of one, the numbers that travel, but two, the support they gave us, and I felt that a little bit at home as well. It's a big stadium, but the noise that the guys have generated has been terrific. So I think it'll be important that again. I think tomorrow, hearing that noise definitely gives the fans that extra lift. So yeah, I think that, and if we can get a hold of the ball and control the ball, and look dangerous and look to create chances, and look to stop them at the other end. I think hopefully that can shift the momentum with us, and the fans play that extra bit in terms of giving the guys that extra boost, especially later stages of games. Like legs are tired, head's tired. That 50-50, that chasing the channel, whatever it might be. That extra noise definitely goes a long way. So I can only, like I say, speak highly enough of them so far, and hope the support continues.